Most people think making millions is about some secret strategy, some hidden funnel, some perfect morning routine, some guru-approved blueprint. Well, it's not, all right? It's about how you think when no one's watching. Millionaires don't obsess over their screen time stats. They don't need a motivational YouTube video just to start their day. They operate from a completely different mindset. They don't ask, what should I do? They ask, who do I need to become to make this inevitable? They treat their focus like a weapon and their time like it's already worth $10,000 an hour. So you want real money? Then your thinking has to evolve before your income does. And in this video, I'll show you how to install that thinking, install that mindset, so the money becomes a side effect of who you are. When I started out, I didn't come from money. I didn't have connections. I literally grew up in a 5,000 people countdown in the middle of the Austrian Alps. I sure as hell didn't have a roadmap. I basically had a super slow Windows laptop, and I had relentless work ethic to make it work. And I had one belief kind of burned into my brain, and that was, it's not over until I win. I'm gonna make it or I shall die trying. So after building 3 multiple 7-figure businesses for myself, over 100 6 to 7-figure businesses for my clients, screwing up more times than I can count, and watching people with twice the talent that I had still fail, I realized success follows a very brutal set of mindset rules that most people actually ignore. So let me lay them out for you one by one. These are the principles that separated me from everyone who stayed average. So pay attention so you can copy them yourself. Number 1, there is no normal. You define what your own normal is. That is both in terms of goals as well as in terms of how you structure your day. So it's both in terms of your macro as well as your micro. With your goals, there's a great story from one of my friends, Kevin. He once had the opportunity for a very decent 6-figure job to work for Bosch in Shanghai. And he's just a regular German dude, moved over to Shanghai for an internship at Bosch. And then the CEO of the branch there told him, hey, Kevin, I want you to work for us. With this, you can basically be set up for life. It's a very, very great, decent job. And if you do everything we tell you to do, you're basically going to have a nice house. You're going to have your 2.1 cars. You're going to have your kids and everything. And when Kevin told me that story, I asked him, oh my God, that sounds amazing. You said yes to that opportunity, right? He said no. And when I asked him why he said no to this really great opportunity, he said, Max, I don't want a house and a car. I want a villa and a boat. And that's a great analogy when it comes to there is no normal. You define what your normal is. And my normal also looks very different from what most people want. Most people want to have an average, nice, decent life. I never wanted that. I want to have a big house with a music recording studio in the basement, a gym in the basement, and a big farm where I have my own cattle, my own goats, my own honey, and grow my own vegetables. Like, that's not normal for most quote-unquote regular average people. But I don't care. I don't want normal. I want to be happy. And if that happy is weird, then I'm going to do it. Another great example of that is my buddy Christoph Heuermann. He's about my age, and he just broke the record for the youngest guy to travel to every single country that exists on Earth. That's not normal. But it was his dream. And he said, if that's what I want, I'm going to do it. Whether it's normal or not, I don't care. Same goes for your micro-normal, meaning how you structure your day. Most people eat 3 meals a day. I don't want to eat 3 meals a day. It's a waste of fucking time. I eat 2 meals a day, and I do intermittent fasting. And on top of that, I make sure to have an extremely high protein diet. I eat about 2 pounds of meat every single day because I figured out that's just the way my body works best. I don't drink coffee, I don't drink alcohol, and I stay away from all this crap, even though every normal human being on earth drinks coffee. Now, I've had coffee periods, but I usually tend to stay away from that. My normal life does not evolve around coffee at all. That's not normal, but it is what I consider to be normal for me, for my own definition. So you have to understand that. Same goes for sleep times, execution, etc. Look, a lot of people come to me and they say, Max, I work a 9 to 5. I have a family. How the hell can I build something on the side? Well, the truth is, you can build something on the side by not doing what every normal person does with the 9 to 5 and a family. Those people usually come home, they watch some TV, they waste their fucking time, they go see the game on the weekends. Well, guess what? If that's normal, you're not going to reach your results, okay? You need to create your own normal, which means you're probably going to have to hustle after you come home from work. You're probably going to have to hustle while all the other dads that are in your friend circle or watching the game, you probably have to be creative and fucking get on client calls and build your business in your freaking lunch break while your regular friends and family are just talking shit and wasting their time during lunch break. I have clients that are making $4,000 in their lunch break because they're doing what they need to do regardless of whether it's normal or not. I think that hammers in the point. Number 2, let's get to the second one. People will always try to talk you out of your own journey. That's always going to be the key, whether that's your spouse, whether that's your family, your parents, your friends. There's various reasons as to why they might do this, ranging from very good reasons, good in the heart, so to speak. They don't want you to take risks. They don't want you to fail. They love you and they want to protect you. But it could also be a reason because they don't want you to succeed, because they themselves don't have the balls. They want to hold you back. They don't want you to do better than them. It doesn't matter what the reason is, because your response shall always be exactly the same. And that is, you listen to them, you nod, you agree, you thank them, and then you go ahead and do whatever the fuck you wanted to do anyways. That's just the way it is. Don't try to convince people. Don't waste your time. In German, we have this saying that says, bekehre nicht die Ungläubigen, which basically means like, don't try to convince people that are never going to believe you anyways. Don't waste your time. Instead, just like, thank them and do your own thing. Which brings me to point number 3. This might be painful now, but pay attention. Your feelings don't matter. Your ideas don't matter. All that matters is the market. Your job is to listen. This is especially key if you want to start your own business, you want to make your own journey with AI-generated content, whether it's as a coach, a regular business owner, or an affiliate marketer, or just someone who creates a side hustle. I've worked with over 3,000 beginners now, and they all have the same thing in common. They're like, this is the way it should work, and I think my offer is really great, and this business idea I think is really awesome. Nobody cares what you think. Nobody cares what you feel about the market. The market is the market, which means create things that people already want. Don't try to reinvent the wheel, and just give them what they want, and you will have a thriving business, whether that's a side hustle, an affiliate marketer, or just an Instagram account that gets a lot of views. Doesn't matter. Create things that people want. I know sometimes that's not what you want, but your job is to deliver to the market what the market wants. Right? Which brings us to point number 4. It's not the idea that matters, it's the execution. A lot of folks think, oh, they need to have a grandiose business idea. A lot of folks think they need to reinvent the wheel, become the next Jeff Bezos. No, not at all. It's actually about the execution. I've seen so many great ideas just die right there and then, and I've seen mediocre ideas make $100,000 a month. And if you're watching this, and you think $100,000 a month is great, is a great goal to be pursued, yeah, guess what? Most of the offers I know, they're making $100,000 a month. They're not reinventing the wheel. They're not grandiose ideas. They're decent ideas, but the execution is very, very much on point. Which brings me to step number 5. Mistakes are good. Mistakes don't kill your dreams. Indecision does. It's funny, I was literally just on a sales call the other day where I was the person who was being sold. You know how long that sales call took? 4 minutes. You know what I invested? $50,000. Why does it take me 4 minutes to make a $50,000 investment when it takes most average people days to think about investing something for $2,000 or $3,000? Because I've done this rodeo many times and I understand that it's not about the mistakes. In fact, I try to make as many mistakes as fast as possible because I understand mistakes are part of winning. You can never avoid making mistakes. You can only make sure to make mistakes as fast as possible and learn from them. But what actually kills your dreams much faster is indecision, just pushing decisions away further and further. I've made a great video on this very channel about, I think it was 2024, how much I invested in 2024 over how many mentors in that year, what I learned from all of those. And in that video, I strongly recommend you watch that video next. In that video, I also talk about certain investments that did not pan out, over $20,000 investments that just didn't work. But overall, I make much more money through the investments that I've made into mentors, into coachings, etc., etc. So ultimately, you got to pay the price, and I'd rather pay the price via mistakes because it's comparatively small than paying the price with indecision. Number 6 is always take responsibility, even if it's not your fault. This is something that I see excruciatingly prevalent, especially with business owners that are doing well. Even if something is not their mistake, let's say, for example, an employee of theirs fucks up, or a client makes things up, or just people lie to them, they still take responsibility and think, okay, how could I have avoided this? How can I make things better? This makes your life relatively easy because if something is not your mistake, it's very easy to fall into victim mentality and say, poor me, this was not my mistake, why do I have to bait it out? But if you just say, you know what, I'm gonna take responsibility and I'm gonna take evading action, you take control over the thing that happened. Might not have been your fault, but at least now you take control over it by taking responsibility, which means you can fix it and or at least avoid it from happening again or mitigating the negative effects on that. And if you're able to do that, you can make much more money, much more easily. Every single millionaire I have in my own friend circle has that character trait. By the way, another character trait that these millionaires have is number 7. Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Look, in times of social media, there's always going to be someone making more money than you, having a crazier six-pack than you, looking better than you, being younger, more pretty, or just being overall better than you. There's always going to be someone like that. They say comparison is the thief of all joy, and that's very much true so. What you need to understand is you're on your own journey and you're doing things at your own speed. I have a lot of people coming to me, they're in their 40s and they're in 50s, and they say, Max, I've wasted my life with just a regular career and family and so on and so forth, and now there's 14-year-olds on TikTok making $2 million a year. Look, forget about them, okay? This is your chapter 1 or your chapter 6 or whatever chapter it is that you're in. Focus on you. Don't compare yourself, because you're never going to win that. Like, even if you're the richest man on earth, Elon Musk, he's still going to lose with the six-pack battle or the who has a prettier wife battle. Like, he can never be perfect, so stop doing that. You do your own thing. You root for yourself and you pat yourself on your shoulder every single time you go into bed. Are you going to bed smarter, better, stronger every day? If the answer is yes, great. If you didn't allow yourself to bitch out and listen to your excuses or talk down to yourself, great. Now you're winning. That's the most important thing. Similarly to that is point number 8. And that is follow the rule of 1. Don't get distracted. No, that's not a Star Wars reference. But what I'm basically saying is a lot of people, especially in the beginning journey, they try to do a lot of things at the same time. They're trying to have a business over here, another side hustle over there, some crypto investments over there. And what you're doing is you're spreading yourself too thin. Every single time I brought a client to $100,000 a month and beyond, it was because I got them to focus on their main business. Even for me, I do comparatively little else other than my main business. Why? Because if I would say now, for example, I would invest 30 minutes of my day-to-day life into investing or day trading, sure, I might get 10% out of that, 20%. If I have a 30% upswing year from my investments, that would be considered great. Well, guess what? Or I focus those 30 minutes on my business. The business ROAS has literally 4x, meaning for every dollar I put in my business, I on average get $4 profit out of that. That's 400, right? A 400% increase, not a 30% increase. That's quite a lot. So you got to understand that you need to leverage your very limited time, and the best way to leverage that is by following the rule of 1. You focus on a singular thing. Same goes for social media. Don't try to have a podcast and a long-form YouTube channel and post on LinkedIn and have Instagram and TikTok all at the same time when you're getting started. I can do this because I have AI systems and a great team around me, and I have almost everything else monetized as well and automated in my business. But if you're getting started, focus on a singular main platform. If that is Instagram or TikTok, you can use some of our AI systems, for example, to post simultaneously on the other platforms, but your thinking, your creativity should be focused on a singular platform, right? And that brings me to the last one, which is, by the way, my all-time favorite mindset that you should absolutely implement. If you take one thing away from this video, is this: be ambitious in your goals, but humble in how you learn, right? What I mean by that is go for the villa and the boat. But at the same time, be humble when you're encountering someone who is doing better than you in that respective field, who has done what you want to be doing, and just learn from them. It's funny because here I am on my channel, kind of having the big boss attitude. I'm like showing you what to do. But at the same time, when I'm on a call with my mentor, I'm the humble sheep. I'm like, hey, thanks for your time, I appreciate it. Here's my questions. Like, you gotta have that dichotomy of thinking you deserve everything, but at the same time, understanding that you know nothing and that you should absolutely always continue to learn. I always put it like this: the term self-made is a lie that your ego makes up, right, to make you feel better. Nobody wants to be fucking self-made. Self-made means you've basically wasted way more time than necessary than if you had asked for help and gotten great mentors. Pay those mentors. No, I'm not saying this so you would buy my mentoring program. No, look, buy somewhere else if you want. I literally don't care. I'm saying this because this is objectively faster to get you to your goals. pay freaking mentors. You will always get the money back 2x, 3x, 10x, 100x as long as you execute what they say. Ask for help, right? But do it from the right people. That being said, subscribe if you've gotten value from this. If you have any questions, this channel is pretty small, so I'm still reading all the comments myself. Drop them in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Talk soon.